The Prophet of Darkness.
Open your mind.
Welcome back. I know it's been 2 weeks, but I'm back, y'all. Here we are once again. You're listening to the Prophet of Thought series. I'm your host, X, right here on Nubia Hood Radio, the sound of consciousness. And I got a special show for y'all tonight. The one, the only, Shahrazad Ali will be calling in tonight. And y'all know she bring the fire and the pain. So hold your horses for that one, because we will be talking to her tonight. It's on, y'all. The Prophet of Thought series right here on Nubia Hood Radio, the sound of consciousness. Let's go.
Open your mind.
The Prophet of Darkness. The Prophet of Darkness.
All right, y'all. As y'all know, I'm X. And tonight, we will be talking to Sister Shahrazad Ali. But before we get started, the first thing I want to do is I want to shout out my baby girl, because she told me she was going to be listening. So, boo, what's up, baby? It's your old man. I love you. Stay listening. Yeah. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Sister Shahrazad Ali. And for those of you who don't know who she is, I guess y'all was living underneath a rock or something like that. Shahrazad Ali, Sister Shahrazad Ali, she's written many books. She wrote the book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. She wrote The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. She wrote Are You Still a Slave? She wrote things your parents should have told you. She also wrote How to Tell If Your Man is Gay or Bisexual. You know, the list goes on and on and on and on. How to live without eating a pig, so on and so forth. She's written a lot of books. This lady has, she's actually a hero of mine. I actually looked up to this lady for a very long time. I've been following her work for about 30 years now. And it's crazy. And I'm going to ask her about it tonight. The things this woman has been saying. Now, you hear all the people. You hear everybody. You hear the Dr. Umars. You hear the Brother Polites. You hear the Dr. Claude Andersons and everybody else. And they talk about, they talk about white supremacy. They talk about slavery. They talk about all this kind of stuff. But, you just started hearing this stuff in like the 2000s. Well, Shahrazad Ali has been saying these things since I was a teenager. Okay. She's been saying this stuff for like 30 years. So it's kind of crazy that, and it looks like she's calling in right now. Let us see. Let us see. Sister Ali?
Yes?
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Sister Ali, welcome. I just got through introducing you to all of those who don't know who you are. I guess they've been living in a cave somewhere. But I just got done introducing you and telling them about the books you wrote and who you are and all that kind of stuff. And let me first say this. I have to say this. Sister Shahrazad Ali, I have followed your work for a long time. I have read your books, and you are truly, truly, truly one of the greatest black intellectual historic minds that I have ever followed in my life. I have to say that. And it is an honor to be speaking with you right now.
Well, thank you very much, brother. I don't know if I deserve all of that, but I certainly appreciate you reading some of my work and my studies that I learned from my teacher and was able to expand on that, knowledge and come up with some further concepts of my own to offer our people to try to get us to, do better, live better, and get along better. Those are our major problems right there.
Okay. Let me just get right into it because I've been anticipating this interview for weeks, and I was telling my wife a couple weeks back, and I had went back into all my research and looked at all the things that I hear on the internet now, on the radio now, on television now, and the things that people are saying now. You've been saying these things for like 25, 30 years.
That's right. And I find that so interesting. But, you know, sometimes people are before their time. And it takes a long time for us to catch up because we're already behind. And while I'm saying that, I want to apologize again to your listeners for not being on last month when we originally had the date. I'm being ripping up and down the highway so much and doing so many things. I don't know how that got shuffled. And I just misplaced, apparently, the notice, and I wasn't able to appear on your show. But I've never done that, and I just want to apologize again for not doing that. I just got back about a week and a half ago from appearing in Memphis, Tennessee. And that was really interesting, and the black people there are really, you know, on. They have a lot of things going in their little town. And it's, you know, Elvis City, but it's a lot of black people there who are trying to do some things. And I enjoyed that trip. And so what I'm saying is that I'm on the road a lot, in and out, you know, doing different things in different places. And that's how I got your interview mixed up. And I really, really am sorry. And I was just determined that I was going to make sure I got on here tonight because I didn't want anybody to think that I was a flake, you know, and not keeping my word and showing up and doing what I said I was going to do. So I'm glad that I have this opportunity to speak with you and your listening audience also. I do different radio shows in all different kind of formats. And whenever I run into people like yourself who are trying to help our people and trying to keep some dialogue going to raise our consciousness level and keep us from doing the same failing things over and over and over. As an example, right now, despite everything that's happening to us, our people are getting really wound up on this voting thing again. And I've been saying also for years that we need to come up with a new paradigm. We need to at least have some different discussions on what would we do if we didn't have voting to look forward to and expect change from? What other plan do we have? What is our plan B, since the voting thing has not really helped us anyway? You know, we keep trying to say we're going to find somebody to represent our needs, and there is no such person, not in the American system of politics. And so we need to come up with another idea of what can we do to advance ourselves? What can we do to make progress without having to go through their political system where they are in charge of?
Well, I think that this is my personal opinion. I think that a lot of us need to first realize that we need to advance, because some of us don't even think we need to advance. Some of us think we've already reached the promised land. A lot of us already think that.
No. All the promises were made to us have been bogus and broken, and we have not. In fact, as we look around at the rate that they are killing us now in the streets, we really haven't made a lot of progress at all, except they're not hanging us and burning us. But as far as killing us, we get murdered every day with a great frequency. And we're not going to have a politician that we can vote in who's going to change that. In the 60s, we had 1,500 or so black politicians. Now, we're in 2015, we got over 15,000 politicians. And nothing has really changed for us in that sense. Our politicians sell us out because all of them are secretly afraid of white people, and they're not going to stand up and defend or explain our position or make any demands in front of them. They sell us out.
That's true. That's
and so we need to come up with something else other than voting. And, you know, if you're voting in your local community for the dog catcher or for the library, that's politics local. That's a little different if somebody want to, you know, do that. But as far as these anything that goes like for state representatives and the Senate and the presidency and all of that, we don't have any win in there at all. That's just just something that, we say we doing because we want to feel a part of this society. But voting has not changed anything in our condition. In fact, we are in worse condition since we started voting.
Hmm. Do you think that we were better off? You think we were better off back in the 50s and 60s, even though we were highly, under scrutiny and all these kind of things? You think we were better off back in the 50s and 60s as black people?
Well, I don't know if better is the word, but I think we were on a more successful path because at that time, especially in the late 50s and early 60s, we had embraced our blackness. We were using the term black. We were being creative. We were doing artwork. We were making different black products. We were selling them. And we had a lot of different black organizations that we were putting together, not Negro organizations. We had a lot of things that were based on our own culture. And our women were wearing their own hair. They didn't hate their hair then. We were loving our hair. And our men were, trying to dress like and act like men and African warriors. We had a different dialogue. And our music was different. Our music was about love or the pain of breaking up or getting back together. We had some things going then. And certainly we had more black businesses then than we have now. And so when our children came out of high school, which they were doing at a great rate then we had different little neighborhood businesses a lot of times that they could absorb themselves in. They could go into the undertaking business, the dry cleaning, the grocery stores. There was just some basic things. Well, now we have very few black business to absorb our children into. And so what we're doing is we're 18 generations up from slavery, and we're still turning out little baby slaves. And so now we programmed our children to come out of high school and go beg white people for some kind of job and compete with their children. And that's just, I don't think that that's good. It pushes them further away from their own culture and teaches them to that everybody is better than us, and so it's best to join on to them to survive. And so, things were better then as a takeoff ramp. But we got detoured with the massive onslaught of integration. And then that started deteriorating every good road that we were on. Even the Nation of Islam. Back then, they were bumping. They had all kind of businesses in every city, schools in almost every city. There was a lot going on and farms and things that we could see. Well, now, even they don't have hardly anything going on. Everybody has just gotten off track. And this technology, the white man gave the Indians alcohol and smallpox. And he gave black people drugs and cell phones. And so everywhere you go now, we all engrossed in playing with the telephone and studying it. Everywhere, everybody's holding the phone and talking to each other. We don't like each other that much to talk on the telephone like that. I don't know what that's about. But it's something to distract us from survival, to distract us from the things that we need to do to make a better way for ourselves and our children, and certainly something that takes our money and absorbs all of our attention, just like a Game Boy or something, an Xbox. That's what the cell phones are equivalent to. And so I'm not happy with that technology. It's got a downside. And they got, many of our people have gotten caught up in the Facebook nonsense, and they're using that for a confession booth. Everything they do, especially our black women, they're going on that telling all their business, just doing everything. And they think that the government is not listening to that and making dossiers on everybody that's on there. It's just ridiculous. So, we're going backwards in a lot of different ways that somebody like myself, who has seen a lot of the history, can recognize that we're not doing better now. We're not doing better at all.
So, what do you think? What do you think our next step should be? As a people. Well, I got so many things. I got like 7 million questions in my head, Sister Ali, that I want to ask you. So I'm going to try to.
Well, I can't answer all. I can't answer all of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to try to keep them in. Try to get as many in as I can.
Can you take calls?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, let me give everybody the number. You're listening to the Prophet of Thought series, and we are live with Sister Shahrazad Ali. Call in with your questions, comments. The phone number is 712-775-7031. access code 840981. If you wish to ask a question of Sister Ali, me, make a comment, whatever you want to do, call in. We want to hear what you got to say. We live with Sister Ali right now. Sister Ali, the way it's been, I've heard you say often, that we have kind of disconnected ourselves from the black man, right? The black man has been taken out of the equation, so to speak. When I hear you say that, it kind of makes me think about, because I was fortunate. I was a fortunate young man. I grew up with my father, teaching me how to be a man and work and be responsible, take care of my kids and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of us, we don't have that. And you say that the black man has been forced out of the equation. Would you care to elaborate on that for the people?
Well, we as black women have been hypnotized and tricked by this society and all of their modern ideas, coming mostly from white women and their feminist organizations, that we don't need a man, and that our man is not good enough for us. You all have been robbed and prevented from making progress in a lot of cases, prevented from being able to take care of your family and do a lot of things that other men do on the earth that help to earn them the respect of being a man. But those things have, you all have been disenfranchised, and then they have convinced us that we are better than you because at least we have a place to stay, and we have food to eat, and, sometimes we have a job or education and different things. And so all of it is just designed to separate us and to make our man look like he's inadequate, while, this country has robbed you of everything that would allow you to be a man. And unless you take on a new idea, then you just stun it. And they have convinced us that we don't need you. There's a saying, white women go to college to find a man. Black women go to college to prove they don't need one. And so we have a lot of things that we have gotten mixed up on. And the only reason it looks like we as black women are doing better than you all as black men is because this whole society is set up to give us a support system. If we get pregnant or have a baby, we can get a free apartment or a house. We can get food stamps. We can get babysitting services, medical care. We can get schooling and all kind of things. Where y'all ain't got nothing hardly coming. Y'all can't get all of that. And just basic things like that make us think that we're doing better than you. And we're not doing better than you. It's just the slave master has tried to help us to keep you down and to make us keep thinking that you're not on your job. And so our men, as long as they are going to white America begging for a job and for sustenance, this is how it's going to be. You standing on the same earth that they stand on. Everything they got out of the earth. They didn't get nothing from outer space. You standing on that same earth. It's just we so far behind, and our men are so depressed now. Most of you, as you mentioned, you blessed to have a father, so was my son, but many of our men have not had a father. And so they have a female emotional mechanism, and all of their reactions are feminine. So they don't really even understand anymore what this thing about how to be a man. Nobody's teaching manhood.
Nope. Are young black men the new black woman? Are young black men? Are young black men? Are they the new black woman? The young men that are coming up in this generation, are they the new black woman?
I don't want to say that about them, but they are. They have been tainted with a lot of that. And all we hear is that you all need a father to teach y'all how to be a man. Well, our daughters need a mother too to teach them how to be a woman because they're not doing well either. Our young girls are like just beast animals running around in the streets. It's just terrible. And everybody got fake hair glued and stapled and pasted on their head. So how can you raise a people when the women hate their own hair that's on top of their own head? That's very hard to get past because we are convinced that that's a standard of beauty, and it's a bad example for our little girls, our little daughters, because it teaches them that they're not good enough somebody else's hair, somebody else's fingernails, somebody else's eyelashes, somebody else's makeup. It has taught them, and then we're setting a bad example and making them think that unless you have on all these other fake accoutrements, you're not beautiful. And that's just not true.
So do you see it getting any better? I mean, because you've been teaching us this for years.
Not unless we take on a new idea. Not unless we take on a new idea. We don't have to have anything. And that's why we think the only way you can make a change, well, if I had a job, if I had a car, if I had a credit card, if I had this, I had that. No, you don't need any of those things. You just need to change your mind. Once you change your mind and look at things differently and take on new goals, things will start to change around you. You made everything in this vast universe. You certainly can make a new world if you get a new idea. But the problem is to convince our people to take on a new idea because they think that they will get punished. They don't believe anymore. And it's just fear. Just fear. That's all I can think. But you just have to take on a new idea and make something out of nothing. Because we don't have nothing. But you can make something out of nothing everybody else has.
Well, me personally, I think that one of the main things that, I ultimately think that we don't have enough men involved in our communities. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, we need more black men in our communities, and I mean, men being head of families. Men in these days and times, and the stats bear it out. There's not many men heading up families anymore, and it seems.
Well, the men, brother, have been run away, Xavier. The men have been run out, and there's no impetus for them to try to be there. We do have a few men in the community, but they're living with women and helping eat up their food stamps, or they staying with them and they're acting like the wife and the woman acting like the husband. The roles have been reversed in a lot of different situations. So where are these new men going to come from? They have to be birthed and raised up. They're not hiding somewhere and then going to come out. They're just not present.
Not there. And, I mean, you look on the news, because I watch a lot of news and stuff like that, for my research. And I mean, the killings, the killings. I mean, forget about the police killing young black men. I mean, so many young black men are killing each other. They're killing young black girls. They're killing kids.
Well, we were only taught, the only people we were taught to love was the enemy. We were taught to hate ourselves. And whenever people are isolated, then they turn that hate, they internalize that hate and turn it on self and anything that look like self. And so we're dealing with that. And I think at this point, we're going to have to accept the fact that everybody's not going to be saved. We have never had such an evil civilization and everybody got saved. There's just no such history as that. So there will be some purging like this, and so we don't know why it's happening that way or what's going on, but everybody's not going to survive this hell.
Unfortunately, that's true.
And plus, we got this going now, brother. Now, I'm out here. I travel around. Now, a lot of our people have decided that they're not going to be Christians anymore. They ain't into Christianity. They accept that the white man gave us that Bible to control us. He made up them stories, most of them, and he misinterpreted them. All kind of stuff like that, okay? They don't believe in no mystery, spirit, God, all of this. But we have not been able to accept any teachings about how the black man is God, okay? Not individually, collectively. We represent God. You all do, okay? You're in the image of God. And as a result of that, a lot of black people now turning atheists. They're going to be all atheists now. They're going to decide that if it ain't no white God, then there ain't no God at all. And that's so silly. You know, we just can't even believe that you could be God, or one of you could be the supreme being, or anything like that. And so if the white man ain't God, then there ain't no God. And then, the atheists, black people are growing in numbers of that around the whole country. And we're re-vomiting, falling back in our own vomit, and going back to the zodiac. Now I go into different cities and people asking me, what's your sign? When was you born? No, nonsense. All of that witchcraft and ignorance and foolishness. And we believe in astronomy, but not astrology. That's some other nonsense they made up. But our people are reverting back to that. That was real popular in the 70s. And so we're just going backwards.
And it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, you see this
But
stuff.
it can be fixed. As I said, it can be fixed. But see, this is what we do, brother. We want to talk everything to death. We want to discuss it. We want to go over it. Everybody want to testify and give their ideas. When I go out, we have to really monitor after I speak, and we have question and answer period. Well, we have to be real careful with that Q&A because everybody really just wants to get up and testify. They don't have no questions. They just want to get up and talk themselves and get it out because we all have all of that frustration inside of us. And so we're going to have to stop talking and actually do the work. And when we've talked so many things out, that's how we've gotten into the astrology thing again because we talked far along as we could on a lot of other subjects, and it was time to actually do something. You know, get together, try to get along, open up a business, open up a store, open up a stand on the corner, anything. And we so silly, we've gotten so, we act like we're ashamed of the brothers that have a stand and the vendors that work out on the street. We look like we look our nose down on that. You know, if it ain't some big store that white people open, we just don't even want to hardly deal with it. That's absurd. All businesses start like that. They start in the kitchen, in the basement, on the corner, in the alley. But they got to start somewhere.
Agreed. Well, I have that same, because I have my own little small business that I run. And one thing I noticed about people, because I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where we broadcast from. And one thing I notice is that people, and I'm qualified in what I do. I've been doing it for 17 years. I got all my certifications and everything else. One thing I've noticed is that I can do the same job for somebody, okay, the same contracted job, do just as good as work, if not better, okay, and they're willing to pay the white man $500. Now I'll come in there, do the same job or better, do it faster, but me, they only want to give me $200. I've run into that a lot, and this is black people.
See, right? I know who it is. We're talking about ourselves. The problem is that we have, as I said, 18 generations of slave master training. You know, the slave is on one side, the master is on the other. And we have all of that history of being taught to self-hate ourselves, to devalue our efforts or whatever we produce. And so consequently, when we do something, we do think it's less. You know, it's like the white man. You know that thing they say about the white man's ice is colder? So we want to buy the ice from him because his ice is colder than our ice, and it's all frozen the same, all right? And so that's just old slavery time teachings that we have all inhaled. I have a book called Are You Still a Slave? And it's a test book, and it helps you to take this test, a couple of them in there, to determine how much of a slave are you still acting like even without a slave master. Because that's part of what our problem is. We don't trust each other. We devalue what each other contribute, and we don't believe in each other. We have to change those things. We have to have what's called force unity. We have to make ourselves get along. Most of us can't even get along with the people we live in the house with. You know? We have a lot that we have to work on, and we have to do it in baby steps. I never tell anybody to go out and join anything. You already know enough people in your inner circle to do something with if you're going to do anything. We have hard times, you know, dealing with each other and getting along with each other and trusting each other with any money or anything like that. We have a terrible time because we've been taught to hate ourselves and to distrust ourselves. Now, we have to all be able to sit down in our small groups and accept each other's human frailties and acknowledge out loud that we are a product of 465 years of slave teachings. And that has been our master teacher, who has put all these ideas in our head and taught us to hate each other because that's one way to repress a people. So we have to acknowledge that instead of saying that was something happened a long time ago. No, it didn't. It's happening every day, right here, every day, everywhere we go. And until we're able to acknowledge that and say, you know, when different things come up in arguments, even with your mate, certain things come up, we got to be able to say, oh, wait a minute. That's that old slave time teachings coming up. I'm sorry, that ain't where I was trying to go. See, we can put it on that because
Well, I think I'm going to start using that one on my wife, Sister Arlie. I'm like, you talking that slavery time stuff now, woman. I think I'm going to have to use, I'm going to use that one.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Okay, we're going to take any calls because we just got about 30 more minutes.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, Sister Ali. We talking live right here on Nubia Hood Radio. You're on the Proper Thought series. We're on the line with Sister Shahrazad Ali. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back. We're going to take your calls. Y'all can ask some questions to Sister Ali. Okay. We'll be right back.
Open your mind.
The Prophet of Darkness.
Open your mind.
The Prophet of Darkness.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Proper Thought series right here on Nubia Hood Radio. We are live with Sister Shahrazad Ali, and we're getting ready to take your questions. Those of you who did not hear the phone number, it is 712-775-7031, access code 840981, and we're about to take some calls. Who's that right there? I guess we're going to the 302. Let's go to the 302. 302-229-2448.
All callers are unmuted.
Yes, much love, much respect, brother. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? What's up? You got a question for Sister
right,
Ali?
Yes, Queen Mother Ali. This is not the time to bring forth no remedy, but I will say that for years we've been watching your growth development. We've said that you must be one of the high priests of next week. This time we will be having the night of the high priest with the brother. And we go on state to the solution organization for the young to kill or be killed all across this country. And we're trying to enter into living that lives, so you can look forward to some new ideas, some new women coming to the forefront, because we've been saying that the men have failed. That you can respond if you like.
I'm not waiting on no woman to come up with nothing. That's going to be contingent upon our men. And we need to stop tripping and thinking that we have a solution to anything. We don't have a solution to anything. We are too emotional, we are too temperamental, and we too bossy and too insecure and jealous. And so we are not going to be the rulers of the new world coming in. It's going to have to be you, black man, and ain't no way you can get out of it. So don't start talking about putting it on us and looking to the women. Even if the men have failed, you stronger in your failure than we are. So I'm looking to the black man for the solution, not to no black woman.
Okay, baby, let me just try to respond for one thing, for one reason here. You know about the patriarchal society, which is the new world order. There is the old world order called the matriarch. Now, there's no competition. We came into this slavery together in the Genesis. We're going to come out of this slavery in the revolutionary revelation together. So if we're waiting for a man to do it, we see we got God, who is the most terrible killer on the planet. What has been missing? I'll say the word goddess. Even you will find it alien. Goddess is a live, living, breathing soul. So picking it up later, we'll go forward later on.
Brother, I thank you for your call. We want to get in as many as we can, brother. And I certainly appreciate your idea. And thank you. Well, we got to move on. We can't just stay with one caller because we have a short time.
Thank you for calling, my brother. Next caller, where we going next? What's that? 301-442-05. Oh, sorry. You're live. You got a question for Sister Ali?
Peace and love. You said 301-442?
Yes.
I didn't have a question, but since you have me on, I guess I will ask a question. I really didn't have a question, but I feel obligated. Okay, sister. Go ahead. Okay. I know that you saying, that we can start individually where we are, but it just seems like we so far apart. Like just finding common ground is so hard right now. What would you advise? Like I'm in the Washington D.C. area, but I don't really find a whole lot of like-minded people. Me going to my family, they such Jesus freaks. It's really hard to break through to them because they think Jesus is gonna save us, and Jesus is not coming back to save nobody. So when you find yourself, somewhere isolated, and how do you build? When you kind of sort of,
Well, we have to. This is what we have to do. We have to always lead by example. Sometimes just the way we dress, or talk, or read, or the way we decorate our home, all of those things have an influence on the greater community and on the family. Do you have children?
I do.
How many you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
20, 15, and 14.
Oh, you got enough for a business right there. Start something, anything, whatever. If it's cooking mashed potatoes, that's who you got. That's your staff. That's your group. And like I say, you got to go over this thing with what slavery has done to us. It has made us resistant to resistance. We don't even want to hardly fight back unless we're talking some nonsense about revolution. The revolution got to take place inside of our brain. That's where the revolution has got to be, so we can take on a new idea. We don't have to keep up with this society. All of that stuff about, if you don't know all this technology, you can't get ahead. If you're looking for them for a job, that may be true. But if you're just living on your own and trying to do something, even if you got a job with them, we don't have to keep up. We're not on their clock. We need to be on our own clock. We don't have to rush around like them. We can slow our roll and do what we have to do step by step. We're trying to lay a foundation for the generations of the future. Right now, all we're doing is producing another set of slaves. We don't want to turn our children over to people. We have failed as their mother already because we didn't teach them who the enemy was. Had we told them who the enemy was, all of them wouldn't be killed as quickly because they would know who they were dealing with.
Right.
And so you have a wonderful opportunity. And you're going to have to just talk to your children. And we know all of our children are hard-headed. That's why we keep starting over. Every generation keeps saying, well, I'm going to start an organization. Yeah, well, I'm going to go in March. We keep starting over every generation. We got to stop the starting over and try to continue on with what has already been built by some of our ancestors. We have examples.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you. Just go work with them people you got. That's who you can set your example with.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you for your call, sister. I think we got time for one more call. 240 area code looks like. Hello, you're on the air with Sister Shahrazad Ali. You got a question? Hello? Guess not. Next caller. 347 area code. You're live on the air with Sister Shahrazad Ali on Nubia Hood Radio. You got a question for Sister Ali? Hello.
What, did they all run away? What
No,
happened?
I see them on the board, but I guess you might intimidate.
Maybe not on the phone.
You might intimidate them, Sister Ali. I see
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
The board is lit up, but no one's saying anything. They're not saying, because I'm looking at the numbers. They got to be on the line because they're showing up on my board.
Yes. Come on out, y'all.
Stop hiding, people. This is.
Hello? No, they're not.
Hello.
Yeah, there we are.
You're on the line. Sister Ali, what's your question?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. My name is Jehuti. I mentioned this is my first time listening into your segment and whatnot.
Oh, welcome, brother. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You got it.
I was
Go ahead.
just listening to the sister, that's all, but I'm actually working out while I'm listening to y'all. So, continue on. I was just announcing my presence, that's all.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, brother.
Peace. Yeah, let's go ahead to move down. Well, we're not going to take no callers right now because y'all just hiding. I guess I'll just listen.
Well, I think they're doing what he said. I think they're just listening. I think that's good.
Okay, that's fine.
Because we're trying to hear a different sound a different voice. But I think we just need to cut out all this foolishness. Listen, there's so many things that we could do.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many things that we need to be studying and learning. We need to start, and we see how it's done. If we look in the Asian stores, they have their child in there, they be 5 years old, they be standing on a box, but they be working at cash register.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to wait till our children get to be 18 to start teaching them about a job or work. We need to start them when they're real little. Start them selling pencils, whatever it is. Teach them how to do business. Teach them how to ask for their money, how to make change. Teach them how to interact with the public. Sales is what makes America successful. You got to have something to sell. And we don't want it to have to be themselves. So they need to come up with an idea or a product. Any little thing. If you don't sell but one a week, get them started, get ourselves started in doing something.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us as adults, we need to start doing something ourselves too, don't we?
That's what I said. Just get everybody get started doing something. Some of the churches do have daycare centers or a few different little things like that, But the sister, it was right who said that Jesus was not going to come back and save us. No, he's not. We are going to have to do some work on our own. We even if that's who we can pray to anybody. That's okay, but we don't need to pray so much that we get away from dealing with the reality of our own survival. And it's not about trying to go to war with the enemy. It's about learning to avoid him and come up with ways that we can survive outside of his radar.
Yeah.
We're not prepared to go to war with nobody. In fact, we don't even have no hate for nobody but each other. So I don't want to see us go out and get slaughtered talking about we going to war with the enemy who got all the guns and all the bullets. We don't have no hospitals. We don't have trained staff if we get hurt. We don't have any of those things. We are totally dependent. We are like little babies.
Okay,
So we have to start trying to grow up and do some things that adults do to support themselves.
Okay, you're listening to the Prophet of Thought series right here on Nubia Hood Radio. We got Sister Shahrazad Ali on the line, y'all. So we're going to open up this phone line one more time. And if you got a question for Sister Ali, you better ask it because she got to go soon. So now's your opportunity.
I have a question.
Go ahead. You're on the line with Sister Ali. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Sister Ali. It's a beautiful honor to speak with you and hear all the wonderful advice you've given thus far. I really do appreciate that. My question is, so I work with boys, young black boys who are in a juvenile detention center. And what kind of advice would you give a child, I guess between the ages of 13 and 16 or 17, that is in that kind of situation where they don't feel like they have a future? They're just, every single day is a struggle. They've, gotten into trouble and have come to the end of the road, basically, and now they're one step away from a real actual prison, but they're,
Well, that age that you're talking about, actually about 12 through 16, is the most difficult age for male development, especially if they haven't already had a foundation of a positive male image in their lives up to that point. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to teach that as a woman. You are going to have to get some men in there. And I know that may be impossible, so you got to do the best you can. I understand that. But I'm just letting you know that that's very hard for a female to penetrate that barrier because a lot of their frustration is based upon their relationships with females, usually the first female they knew, which was their mother. Mm-hmm. And we are turning out boys now who not only don't want to get married, but who don't want to be bothered with black women at all, even at a young age. Mm. And so we've got to try to repair that. So what you have to do, and I hope it's allowed in your program, you've got to go back and teach them about how that happened and how they got turned off of their own people and how we got separated and sent to different places so that we would not have ties and love for each other like other nationalities. And how now the finished product is that now we are dismayed and how black men were run out of the homes and the communities, and how black men were kept from getting jobs and doing a lot of things, and how drugs and guns were put into our communities so that we would self-destruct and make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what we have to do is to just give them, as I said, we got to tell them who the enemy is. These people are jealous of your strength. These people hate you because of the power in your sperm that you can affect the entire earth and turn it a different color. That's a very great power. We've got to be able to explain those things to them about how great they are, and not just what happened 5,000 years ago in Egypt. We got to tell them how great they are right now. They're the best at everything. They're not kept out because they're not good. They're kept out because they're the very best. All of them can't be rappers. All of them can't be in sports. But there's a million other different jobs and openings that they need to start trying to work on. And there's a lot of black men in a lot of places who have been slaves all their life, but they're willing to take in some of these boys and mentor them if they just go to their job once a week and learn some things. They can start out where they want to end up. They don't have to think that they have to go to college 4 years. There's a lot of different opportunities for our youth where they can go and get a 12-month or 18-month certificate and learn something. They tell them they just got to learn one thing and master that. Pick out the one thing they want to learn and master that.
Yes, I definitely agree with everything you said. And one thing I just want to ask is just, there are black men, many black men, and they know the need for that in the school. But I feel like the black men that are teaching them and mentoring them are also very childish and very not able to teach them what needs to be taught, because they haven't been taught that, even though they're adult men. But they're just there to kind of help them get through the day.
Let me tell you this. That solution is not going to come from us. That's what I just told that brother. So whatever they're going to teach them, it'd be better for them to get that one day from a man than to keep thinking that all of their wisdom is going to come from some woman. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. Nature doesn't set it up that way. Man cannot submit to woman by nature. They're not going to get it from us in the same way they'll get it from them. And we can't be as judgmental to think that every time a black man do something that we don't agree with, that means he ain't ready. He might be ready in the way he understands it, and another male might understand him too, even though we as females may not understand it. We got to step back sometime.
That's true. Okay.
Okay? And even those, because things that make sense to us may not make sense to him. And he is not wrong because he don't do things the way we say do them.
Right.
He just do it differently. A man is not another mother. He's a father.
Right. A totally different thing. All right.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you for your call. Next caller. What's that feedback we're getting? We're going to take a little break. We come back in 2, y'all. Get this feedback out of my microphone. You're listening to Popular Thought Series on New Year Hood Radio. Back in 2. With Sister Shahrazad Ali. We got time for a few more callers because Sister Ali has to go, y'all. So you better ask them questions. I'm going to give you the number again, 712-775-7031. Access code 840981. If you wish to opine, ask a question of me, Sister Ali, let them rip. 404, you live. You got a question for Sister Ali? Area code 404.
Oh, that's Atlanta.
Yeah, but Atlanta's saying nothing. All right, let's move down the board. Where we at now? Area code 240. New.
I think something happens with the connection.
No. I see a bunch of people on the line, but no one wants to say anything. Well, I guess y'all will continue to listen to Sister Ali drop jewels then until she leaves.
Well, they can listen now. Listen, I'm getting ready to go.
Okay.
But this has been wonderful. And I thank you for inviting me on. I have enjoyed this and meeting you and your wife. And I hope you all keep up the good work. Don't get discouraged.
Mm.
And when we talk about our people, we're not talking about they. We're talking about us and we.
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate...
Because I notice a lot of people now, when they talk about us, they start to say, well, what they need to do. No, not what they, what we.
What
us.
we need
us.
to do.
All
That's
of us
right.
in this here together. We We
That's
don't have
right.
no big eyes.
And
It's just all of us. This is where we are, swamped in this.
you
And as I said, leading by example.
you have no
Really
idea
does a great deal.
what this has been for me. I mean, because I'm going to take this audio and put some video to it and put it on my YouTube channel. Because no one's going to believe, no one's going to believe that I talked to Sister Shahrazad Ali. I guess that's because those are the kind of people that I know. But no one's going to believe that I actually talked to you, sister. I mean,
Well, send me email me. Don't sell it, but email me whatever you put together so I can see it too and enjoy it. I always
absolutely.
like that.
I should have it done in the run of a couple of days. I'm going to take this audio.
Well, whenever you do.
Yeah, I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it to video.
Weekend. I'll be gone next weekend, but I'm here this weekend.
Yeah, I will send, because I do have your email. I will send it to you through
sir.
Dropbox or whatever the case
Right.
may be. And if you don't receive it, just let me know.
I have enjoyed this, brother, and I feel your spirit, and you're on the right path, and Allah will bless you for your efforts. And you and your wife just continue to try to work together and work through it. It's hard. Everything is hard, but it's harder being a slave.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'm trying not to be one. I've
I've
been following your teachings. I'm trying not to be a slave, Sister Ali. I'm trying
They ain't
hard.
my teaching. They ain't mine. I'm just repeating them. I ain't got no teaching. I'm just repeating what I've been taught about.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate you, sister. I do. You have no idea, and I thank you for taking the time to talk to us right here on the
Yes,
Prophet
sir,
of Thought
brother. I
series.
do too.
And please don't let this be the last time you speak with us, please.
No, sir. We'll look at something. We'll look at something next year, okay?
Okay. Hey, sounds good to me. You know I'm gonna be writing you, right? Because I do have your email now. So I will.
Okay.
Sister
I'll talk
Ali,
to y'all soon, brother.
thank
All
you
right.
very much. Thank you. Well, we just got off the line with Sister Shahrazad Ali. If y'all missed that, boy, y'all missed something. But you probably can find them in my archives at some point in time when we decide to put it up on the air. And those of you who didn't take the opportunity to ask Sister Ali a question, you're crazy. You are crazy. You should have asked her some questions because she was here for that. I only had her for an hour. I'm sorry, She's very busy, so I can only keep her here for an hour. But the next hour, you will be able to talk to me. And we got Teacher Tanisha coming up, her segment, her Talk of Truth. And, of course, we're going to have Xavier's Inexcusable Extras as well. So if you feel like you want to ask a question now, we still taking calls. I will give you the phone number again, people. It's 712-775-7031. Access code 840-981. You can call in. You can write in on the chat line. You can ask me some chat questions, whatever you want to do. We got an hour left on the show. You want to talk about it. Let me know. Call in, ask some questions. Let's go. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back in a few, all right? You're listening to Nubia Hood Radio, the sound of consciousness. I'm X. We just got off the line with Sister Shahrazad Ali. And, as I sat here and I listened to her talk, she's been telling us these things, people, for a very long time. We haven't been listening. We just have not been listening. And we should have been listening 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And we haven't been. So we have to. I always hear people talk about how people like her don't give solutions. People like me don't give solutions. All these people talk about how we don't give any solutions. Well, I need to tell y'all something. The solution is in the problem. The stuff that we've been doing, we need to stop doing it. Some of the stuff we haven't been doing, we need to start. And you hear these solutions and we fail to implement them. Now, those of you who are implementing them, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who are not. Because if we don't start to because knowledge is power, okay? Knowledge is power. But we all know that knowing is only half the battle. The other half is implementation. And if we're not implementing what we know, guess what? That's the same as a person not knowing it. So we have a lot of people in this world giving us all this information. We have a lot of people giving us this knowledge. We have a lot of people who have the knowledge. But until we do something with that knowledge, it's pointless, y'all. It's just straight pointless. What I do know is this. It's going to come a time when the things that people like Sister Ali have been telling us are going to come, they're going to become more relevant than ever. So we have to, y'all. We have to change this. We have to do better. We have to be better. We have to do this thing together. It's going to be all of us. No one's going to pull us out of this. We're going to have to pull ourselves out of this. We're going to have to crawl out of this. We may have to pull others out of this. And like Sister Ali said, some of us will be left behind, unfortunately. Some of us will be left behind. Now, but I do believe it's up to us to decide, those of us who will be left behind. Are you going to be a person that's with the rest of us? Or are you going to be a person that plans on being left behind? It's up to you to decide. No one can decide for you. You're going to have to decide that for yourself. Like I said, if you have any opinions, questions, or maybe you have some answers or some solutions or suggestions that you want to talk about, call in. I'll give you the number again. I've been giving it to you all night, but I'm going to give it to you again. It's 712-775-7031. Access code 840981. Hello, you're on the air. You got a question? It's Teacher Tanisha. Hold up.
Now, on the Prophet of Thought series, Empress Tanisha's Talk of Truth.
There you go. Drop it on us, Teacher Tanisha. What's up?
Hey, peace and blessings, everyone. Good evening. How you doing?
What's going on? Was you listening into Sister Ali?
No, I was on from like 7:32.
Oh, okay.
Waiting for Sister Ali to come through and, bang heads open real quick, as she did so wonderfully. I totally agree with her when she says that it's going to have to be the men that's in the forefront. And when I say that, I don't mean that we are doing it alone. I mean, the black woman is assisting them to be the providers and protectors. You understand, as we work with the children and the rest of the sisters in the community to help build the home and the family structure. Like she said, things go according to nature, and the reason why we're so out of our element, of course, mostly due to attacks from the so-called powers that be at this point, with these so-called white people, and their brainwashing that we have submitted to, and that we have allowed our children to be affected by. So we have to start somewhere, to the point where the woman has to, be in her role, the children in theirs, and the man in his. And we have to be their support system. That is just, it is natural.
Yeah, well, she said that, she said it's going to come a time, that, the women, they have to learn to fall back a little bit and let the man lead. I think that is easier said than done. Because a lot of women, they don't want to fall back. They don't want to, I guess because a lot of women have been in that role, that leadership role, for so long, especially in the black community, in the black dynamic, that it probably won't be that easy for women to just fall back and let men lead, right?
Well, it would be difficult because, unfortunately, totally agreeing with the Sally when she said that the roles have switched to where the man is doing what the woman should be doing, and the woman is doing what the man should be doing, as far as when it comes to the roles in
in the family structure as mother and father. It turns everything upside down, you know. Um, we have to just get things in order, you know, more than anything. Everybody has to play their position, you know.
Yeah, well, me being a man myself, I think that a lot of things are the way they are, just like Sister Ali said, because the men have been kind of pushed out. I mean, the men have been kind of pushed out. They've walked out. They've ran out. They've been ostracized and incarcerated and shot and killed and you know, they own the drugs. They, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think that if that weren't the case, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations right now, and we probably wouldn't have as much need for someone like Shahrazad Ali to be teaching us and talking to us about these things. There would be less need for it. I think there would be less need for it. Yeah, exactly. But like I said to her earlier, the things that she says tonight, I mean, that's one thing about the sister. She's consistent, because I've been listening to Sister Ali for 30 years. And pretty much the same thing she said tonight, she probably said the same exact thing 30 years ago. And a lot of us just haven't listened, teacher. A lot of us haven't listened.
Well, we're all still learning. I mean, even me myself, you know, sometimes I get out of character, you know, in my thought process and, you know, feel like I have to go and be the head in everything and, you know, not have to submit. You know, I have been guilty of that as well. So we just, like I said, everybody has to play their part, play their role, play their position. And the man has to know his part and the woman has to know hers, and she has to be his backbone, you know. He leads, he does, you know. A woman is a reflection of her man, you know what I mean? If he don't like something in her, then it's something he has to fix in himself. But if things are imbalanced, they're not even going to notice or recognize, rather, what the solution should be to the problem, because they're not even balanced, you know. Also, really quickly, speaking on what Sis Ali was saying earlier about instead of trying to organize outside people to come together and do things, work with as many like-minded people as yourself in order to come up with some type of, you know, business strategies. Who's good at what? How could we make this work? You know, everyone has times where they don't get along, you know, with family members and so forth and so on. We all go through that. So we have to find like mine, or like she said, your children. I've been doing that with my children for years. You know, if the African Street Festival come on, let's go, you know, pack up this, that, and the third, or it's this festival, or, you know, we're going to go set up a table here and sell this and that, just to give them some type of idea of self-reliance, you know, relying on themselves to be able to get an idea together and make money off of it, you know?
Well, if we were to start teaching our kids from very small, and when I say teaching, I'm talking about really teaching, you know, teaching them about money, teaching them about having their own wealth, teaching them about having their own self wealth, having their own self-worth. If we combine all of those things, self-worth, self-reliance, operating their own economy, trying to create their own money, trying to have a sense of responsibility and all these kind of things, if we're teaching them this, our kids will be all right. I mean, some will fall through the cracks, of course, because some will get left behind. But I think if we could shift the way things are, if we can shift it, because right now we like 75% in the hole and 25% out. We need to shift that. It need to look more. It need to look more like 25% in the hole and 75% out. It needs to look more like that. Those are more. Those are better numbers. And I think if we start doing some of these things, we can shift those numbers. We could shift this paradigm, and we can not only will it be better for our children, it'll be better for us too, because a lot of us, our ass is gonna be getting old, and we ain't gonna be able to do too much. So you know, and you know, our ass is gonna be getting old. So we gonna have to do something, and we can't wait. It has to start now. You know, it has to start right now. It can't wait. We can't say, oh, we're going to do it in 5 years. We're going to do it in 10 years. We're going to do it next week, whatever case may be. We need to sit down and start doing these things now. And I talk about these things. I talk about these things on here every single week. Every week. You always hear me tell people, look, you need to start, teaching your kids. You need to start telling them about their own money. You need to teach them knowledge of self. You need to teach them self-discipline, self-respect, all that kind of stuff. I mean, because these are the things that destroy us, because we don't have these things. We don't have these things. A lot of our people, not all of them, I don't want people writing my damn site later. Yeah, because they write me. They write me. Yeah, they don't even write the station. They write me. Which I don't care about, but I don't want them to write me thinking, oh, man, you're ostracizing your people. No, I'm not. I'm trying to talk to y'all. Anyway, I want the freaking people are going to get a rude awakening if they don't start learning some things. And the prisons, man, the prisons are filled. The prisons are filled with people who lack self-discipline, who lack mental discipline, who lack emotional discipline. The prisons are filled with those people. So we have to give our people these things. We have to give our people these things so that the prisons can be less filled, okay? We can have more wealth in our community, okay? And we can have more responsible men and responsible women and more complete families. I just believe that's going to happen if we just do things a little differently. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect to have a different result.
Thing has gotten us here, and the here isn't far.
Exactly.
Like the sister was saying, you can't. The sister Ali was saying, you can't gather everyone. You can't, just do what you can. My whole thing is, you just drop jewels, whatever information that you have that the Creator allows you to have. Share that and keep it moving. We have to, those of us who are conscious, or rather cognizant, aware of what's going on, we have to go and build, and if we can build in family structures, that would be great. And, for those who are single and who are looking for their consort, or maybe whatever terminology you want to use, that they would be able to come together as a family unit and build. Everybody has to build their own individual selves and then go outwards from there, to family members and so forth and so on, and then to your community. We have to do things our own way and stop trying to conform to our enemies, because we're living amongst our enemies every day. You understand? Especially out here in New York. Like, it's crazy. You can't walk anywhere or drive anywhere and not see such a massive presence of the police. Like, the beast is out here hard. I don't know what how they doing down there where you are at in Charlotte, but I'm sure they're everywhere out there as well.
Yeah, they have their moments out here. I covered a rally earlier. Well, actually, it was only been like maybe 4 months ago. I was at the Jonathan Farrell rally. Jonathan Farrell got killed in 2013 down here by a Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer. Right in the heart of the city, not far from where I live at, as a matter of fact. And of course, the cop he did get arrested, but it was a mistrial, and they decided not to charge him again. So, and that was like the second person killed in the run of like a year and a half, 2 years, because Janisha Fonville, she got killed this year by the same police department. And this cop, his record was even worse than the cop who killed Jonathan Farrell. So, it's all over the place. It's not like it's here, it's Ohio, it's Florida, it's New York, it's everywhere. It's California, it's all over the place, man. And see, a lot of yeah, a lot of us don't know that we living amongst the enemy because, like Sister Ali said, a lot of us, the only person they love is the white man. They only love the white. They only love the white man. They've been taught to hate everybody that look like them, but they love the white man. And to me, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know why? You know why? You know why they love the white man? Because they have been taught to love the white man. They see themselves through the white man's eyes. And like she said that a lot of people just stopped believing in God because see they've been convinced now that God wasn't white. So now that they don't think God white no more, it's, oh man, there can't be a God. There's no way God's black. I know.
You understand? But that also comes along with awakening. You know, people are stuck to a falsified or falsifying. This is more than one out there. Religion, and you drop the knowledge. They see it everywhere, and then it's a conspiracy theory, and the devil is trying to make Jesus a liar. Or it's like, baby, he don't exist. Do you understand? And it's all a product of self-hatred. You understand? You have to love yourself first, and you have to love yourself in every way. You know, even accept the things that make us, self-conscious. Do you understand? Like, because it's a part of you, and you have to embrace all of you. Even when you don't want to. I mean, me also, my own individual stuff, I have my moments, but we all do. And I come to the point where, well, you're beautiful inside and out, and accept that, and we all have to have more, positive thoughts about ourselves and each other, and, and create our lives how we want it to be. Like Sister Eileen said, it's all in the mind. What you think is going to manifest. You understand? Because, we are the gods on earth. We're aware of that, and we have to come forward and bring something and build something just as great as our ancestors did. They left more than enough information for us. People say, well, they hide this and they hide that, and this buried in the Vatican and this buried here, and they sold that from there and switched it here, and they took these people from here and, put them in Africa, and took the people from Africa and put them over here and tried to mix up. And it's like, all right, we know everything now. What do we do from here? And we have to unite amongst ourselves and stop trying to conform to this Europeanized society. You understand? We need to embrace ourselves and work amongst each other.
Exactly.
So we can have trust enough in our own selves, let alone in the person that we're dealing with or in family members and so forth. But how you go deal with a community of people? We have work to do with ourselves, but everybody has a piece of the puzzle. We just have to come together little by little, and the picture that it's going to create is going to be so spectacular because it's going to be a collective of all of our greatest ideas in one, and we can do it. Look at all of these the nations and technologies and just everything that is here today that people are mimicking. Everything that our ancestors have left. We have the information already. We have had enough lectures. We have had enough elders teaching us. We have had enough debate. Okay, in the street, just all ignorant and just
it's time to get right. It's time to get right. You better go to my channel. I just started a Proper Thought Series channel. You better get up on there. You better get up on there. Nah, I'm just messing. Yeah. Absolutely. Well,
character traits that you have to deal with, and then you know how to commune with other people. We have to know how to go in the ghetto and commune with these young brothers and sisters, and then go and so forth, because so we gotta go amongst the beast daily. You understand? And we have to know how to go amongst them and converse and be versatile in all things that we do. We have to be the chameleon. That's what Black people
Yeah, we got to get it right. We got to get it right. Well, we're going to open up the phone lines, y'all.
We love you. We love you, black men. We love you.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear the teachings of teacher Tanisha saying that?
Yes.
We're gonna open up the phone lines. So if you wish to opine, I'm gonna give you the number again. This is like the 9th time. The number is 712-775-7031. Access code 840-981. The phone lines are open. You're on the air. You got a question for me? You're on the air. Yes, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. We won't get to this tonight, but next week I'm sure we'll get a little more as we open up Pandora's box with the T.P.O.T.S. And most of what basically been here is like a religious text. And our recall of our birthright, we have to go back and look at what started this. And when we were captive, and when man was captive here, they said get them all 8 to 80 blind, crippled, and crazy. So 8 to 80 as long as they wasn't blind, crippled, and crazy. That was in the beginning. So they didn't say get the men, get the UNIA, or get the black members. They said get them all. Get all the land and get them all. So what that meant was when the illegal alien European invaders invaded on our trespass in our space, we had the land. They gave us the Bible, Torah, and the Quran. And out of that, we had this patriarch where men. But that's not necessarily true because that's what's really happening. So when we're looking at this new paradigm, we're looking at a revolution. And it's got to be a revolutionary revolution, which means a total complete change. It don't mean anything about fighting, killing, dead people, or not. Revolutionary time to articulate. Well, just do a little of this, get a little in there, or just do your thing. Well, it's working individually. Nothing could be further from the truth. We started this together. We are going to end this thing together. And we are in here to say that the New World Order, which everyone wants to comment on, that's the minority European illegal alien thing. Now, the old World Order was the matriarch. The matriarch was Mother Universe, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Indigenous America, Mother Africa, and Mother Goddess. I find it so horrifying at this late stage that the majority of women will never say the word God at a late date like this. In other words, it wasn't abolished. She was just hidden, put in abstention, put in idol. The great goddess of Mother Universe was hidden. The great goddess of Mother Earth and Mother Nature was just hidden, put in abstention, idol. But Mother Nature is here to show us again that in the high creases, it's not just putting woman over man, it's putting us together as we came into this thing. So, we just can't rule out, well, just the men. The men been out here running around in wars for the last 500 years, 600 years, trying to be a king or a president or a mayor or police chief or captain or leading the prison thing. So we got to look at that formula and see, well, did it work for us? It worked to get us where we are. And believe me, the system is working. As it's according to what the equations start, the system is the carnivorous flesh eater. So you can't say that this is not working, but that's not working, or whatever. It is working. It's working to try to destroy us, but guess what? It didn't even exist. We've added and multiplied, like the Creator authorized us to do. The only thing now to do is come together, and we will be exceedingly great. So we don't believe in the separation of anything except bringing the classes together. The $5 Negroes hang with $5 Negroes. $50 Negroes hang with $50 Negroes. $1 million hitters hang with $1 million hitters. That's why the class system came up with this thing called the elite class, the middle class, and the underclass. For us, the majority of us are the workers and poor peasants all across the world. We're workers and poor peasants. So we are the have-nots, almost like T.P.O.T.S said. T.P.O.T came to bring in, as we determined thug life. Thug life was about the have-nots. It was not about gangs, running through and killing and so forth and so on. It was about looking at Haiti. It was about looking at Nigeria. It was looking at everywhere their belly. So we're looking at putting us all together as we came into this thing and making a decision on do we want to be free. If we want to be free, we're going to have to take a stand on that. We cannot look at no weapons or somebody might kill us wrong or they might kill us wrong. We got practical line answers much either. We cannot be exterminated. So we got to think outside the box this time. You know, so I done said enough. I said a lot, but look forward to the night of the high pieces next week.
Okay. Well, full disclosure, this is I already know this is you, Brother Mandela Khan, just from what I'm hearing. So that's Brother Mandela Khan Davis, y'all. If y'all don't know that, he's gonna be on the show next week. So you're gonna want to tune in for that one, cause you will learn something. You want to tune in for that one. Be sure. And we're going to have Brother Shango Oya on here too next week. So you're talking two powerful brothers next week. Too powerful. Yes. So tune in next week. Brother Mandela Khan Davis going to be in the house. Brother Shango Oya going to be in the house. And some of that knowledge you just heard dropped a few minutes ago, you will hear 2 hours of it next week. Well, we on the air. Next caller. You're on the air with Nubia Hood Radio, the Proper Thought Series. You got a question? Lines are open. Hello. Yes, I can hear you, brother. Okay. Oh, you gonna let him out? Let him out.
you study these guerrillas, the Black Liberation Army, the United Slaves Organization, you can break them down into individuals or what have you, Huey, uh, George Lexus Jackson, Inner Circle, whatever. They promote violence along with their teaching. There's no such thing as a revolution that does not incorporate violence.
Uh, well, well, let me stop you there, brother. I agree with you. Okay, I do agree with you. But what Sister Ali said is that she don't think she don't think that we are capable of having a violent revolution because number one, we don't have enough guns.
Now, let me explain to you something about, the lone wolf. And you can go on, question Khan's channel and look up the lone wolf, something, Afrikaans or gorilla. And this is not about Mr. Ali, much respect, but I'm not really going off of anything she said. Okay? Now, when I look at these, citizens of these countries in the Eastern Hemisphere, they will go up against tanks, the National Guard, the Army, whatever have you, until their dictator is in their hands and his head is bust. So I'm not trying. You understand? It's all. Let's just leave that right there. You understand? So you understand one thing about it. It still bothers me when I hear people talk about their spirituality and these pseudo African religions, but they still fear death. Okay, we have something called the ancestral realm. We do not fear death because we understand the process of death. Anyone who says that they walk in the footsteps of their ancestors, that they communicate with their ancestors, they know nothing about this realm, they are a liar. Plain and simple. We are still communicating with our ancestors on a consistent basis, period. So all of that, we're not ready. We don't want to get killed. Okay, you fall back a little bit. Fall back. You understand? Because one thing about it, there's no such thing as a suicide mission. There's no such thing as a kamikaze move when it comes to a gorilla. You move how you move. After you move, whether you are killed in the process or not, we will take care of your soul. You will be seen into the ancestral realm, and that will be it. 200 or whatever so years from now, you will incarnate again. And that's the way that works. There is no Muhammad, no married, these prophets that married 8-year-old little girls, no Jesus, no turning the other cheek. They are not the way. No Kabbalah, no Judaism. These figures did not even exist. If you have studied the ancient Medusa, you know where each and every single deity, saint came from, whether it was Brahma, Buddha, none of these characters exist at all. You understand? All of it is stolen from ancient communities.
Well, I don't think
Okay?
I don't think
Now,
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, brother. What I
listen, it's not even, I don't want you to get offended because I'm riled up.
no. We don't get offended here, brother. This is an open forum. This is an open forum.
I'm going to say what a lot of people won't say, you know what I mean? And it does come across as offensive because a lot of people not ready to hear it.
Well, we hear this kind of stuff every week. We hear this kind of stuff every week. This is an open forum.
This is the truth. I reinforce truth on any front. Okay? Now, also, a matter of fact, I want to talk about something you said. You said that, we need to teach our children. Yeah, we need to teach our children. Of course, we need to, disseminate the teaching properly. You understand? But one thing about
You hear? I hear you. Go.
All of these terms, because anyone can have a child nowadays, and that's the problem. You understand? You got some very disgusting and stupid people, and I'm stupid, having children. You understand? And then we try to figure, oh, damn, what's wrong? What's the problem? Okay? Because we have uncultivated spirits bringing in souls. That is the problem. All right? Now, again, about what you said. All right?
Well, we're gonna open up the lines, brother, because you've been on a while now. I done gave you a lot of time. I gave you a lot of time.
One more thing. I don't think that we should continue to pass these burdens. That's one thing you did say, Ali. Continue to pass these burdens on to our children when we are right here, grown, you understand, fully developed mind, body, and spirit. It's just a cop-out.
Yeah, well, I don't think she said pass the burden on to them. She told us to teach them. We should be teaching them how to discover their own selves, have their own knowledge of their own selves. She didn't say that we should be passing the burden on. She said we should be teaching our children who the enemy is. Those were her words. Those were her words. She didn't say pass any burden. I certainly hope so, brother. But like I said, I gave you a lot of time, man. So I'm gonna have to open this line up and let a few other people give in. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, the phone lines are open, y'all. Hello, you on the air? You live on Nubia Hood Radio, the Prophet of Thought series. You got a question? Hello. You got open lines, so if you guys, yes, we're here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, it was me. Is this the conference call about
Yes, it is.
wisdom?
This the Prophet of Thought series. What's up?
Oh man, just really blown away by everything going on in the world right now, but also really intrigued. My queen and I think there's a shift going on as far as consciousness with the black people, even though we're in rough situations around the globe. But do you guys think that there is a change going on spiritually?
I do. I mean, I believe there's a change going on all fronts. I mean, spiritually, mentally. I mean, there's a change going on all fronts. And I think we as a people definitely have to change because we've been doing this right here, what we've been doing for a long time, and it's not working. So it's time to change up. I mean, if not change spiritually, at the very least change mentally, so we can change, our behavior. Like Sister Ali said earlier tonight, I mean, we have to change our minds. We can't keep on doing the same old stuff, man, and expecting things to be different. I mean, we have to do something different, and that's going to start with our thinking, because that's what's going to ultimately change our behavior in the long run. You can't think negative and do positive. You can't think wrong and do right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we have to change our thinking, or we'll never change our behavior. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Certain things going on, and be like, yo, we'll never get it, we'll never come together as people, look what's going on. But I'm looking more at I guess you could say the optimistic side of things, and the type of people that I keep around me shows me that spiritual awakening is manifesting among black people globally, really.
And quickly, if I may, the decision that just the other day, number one voodoo killer from the Francophone are ready for our ascension. Much love, much respect.
Okay. The lines are open. You're on the air. Prophet of Thought series. You got a question? Go ahead. Hello. Guess not.
Yes. Good evening.
Teacher Tanisha, you still there?
Yes, I am.
You got a question for Teacher Tanisha?
Okay.
She can hear you.
Good evening. Peace.
How you doing?
Family. How are you? I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm here too. I just wanted to say good evening. Peace.
Hello.
Peace.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? You got a question?
Peace.
No.
You got a question, brother?
I got a question. If no one else does.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You on the air.
Okay. Not to get mundane, and not even to bring up the beast or anything he's doing. The TV has got everyone going wild with the France thing. To me, a bunch of the stuff that has been happening in the past years, they've been setting it up and doing it almost as theatrics. Is it getting more extreme? Like the brother said, their time is coming to an end. I really do see more, and I don't watch TV too much, but this France thing, could they have just made that all up and was that an act or?
Same game, different name.
Absolutely.
They just take the same idea because obviously they show that they can't get past that idea and they just keep on reforming it and reshaping it into different things. You know, when they're all under the characteristics of distraction.
Exactly.
As long as they know if they can keep our energy, that's why when you know yourself, you know all things. That's why if they can keep our energy focused on what they want us to create, there's going to be violence and chaos. You understand? All of us might know who or what we are, but they do. You understand? They understand who they feel their enemy is, and we need to do the same thing. But first we have to understand ourselves, and then we'll know how to go about certain things with dealing with our enemy.
Yes. Thank you, so. My point with you there, San Francisco, wherever that was, they had this so-called stuff. Everything was stayed activated, and this the event sparked up. The reason being is that the Haitian people in the French Quarter of New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, they went on the most vicious expedition. The day of the hurricane, to turn the Africans in New Orleans into ruffians, renegades, and ruffians. Now they're Syrians over there, right? Now they're Syrians, Afghanis, and Iraqis. And what they're saying is that they're going to create a terrorist state in order for us to not reclaim, recall that which is ours. All of these terrorists, all this stuff is a part of the FBI, the CIA, Al Qaeda was all created by Al White. So the fact of the matter is, the white man is using his state-sponsored terror as a buffer zone because he know what we want. And what do we want? We want our birthrights back. So all of this is very activated and all for one reason, to keep that which they stole, our stolen right.
Well, I think that at some point in time, I mean, number one, those of us who aren't awake need to wake the hell up first and foremost, because there's way too many of us sleep for us to carry this thing out. Because whatever we got to do, we're going to need all of us, you know. And the ones who don't think that it's going to take all of us, they think they can just go in there and do all this by themselves. They're crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy. Because you're not going to be able to do this by yourselves. I don't care who you are, how many guns you got, how much you know, how many books you read, okay, or how many lectures you're given. You're going to need help. No matter what you think, what you say, it's going to take all of us. If not all of us, most of us. And whoever doesn't understand that has not been paying attention.
Can I get in here, X?
Go ahead.
I'm Oluwa Kayode. I'm the owner of Nubia Hood Radio.
The boss.
And I'm I'm really enjoying this show. Peace to everybody listening. Um, my thing is, yes, indeed. My thing is, I don't understand. Maybe y'all can help explain to me. I mean, for me, it's evident, that the beast is this is a stage, as far as the media, etc. But why, as powerful as we are, we know we are God. Okay, I think we can all digest that at this point. We know we are God, and I've done many things, many what some would call, supernatural things. We can do rituals, we can create things. Okay, why have we not? I mean, why have we not tapped into this and done this to the beast? Is it because we are at the heart of the subject matter? We are just way too loving. We are way too caring as melanated people. Versus these savages that's just want to destroy and be imperialistic about everything. I mean, is it just impossible for us to just lay harm and death to this enemy of ours? I mean, as powerful as we are, like Exa said, it takes more than one. I can do a ritual. I can do something to some one or two people, but it takes a lot of us to just destroy all this negativity in the entire nation of globalists and whatever you want to call them, Illuminati or the devil. It's going to take more than one person. You know what I mean? Why haven't we done this? That's my question. Why haven't we done this? Why don't we know this? We study fighting each other. We study going to the spiritual realm to hurt each other. Even in Africa, that's what the brothers and sisters are doing. And it's like, yo, come on, that's not your enemy. Just like on the streets, we shooting each other, we killing each other. We are not killing the enemy. Your family is not your enemy.
Well, I totally agree with you. I mean, we take our spiritual gifts and we'll use them against each other instead of, at least if not coming together collectively within a large group. Just, a couple of us, a few of us, to get together and be able to, work our gifts. I totally agree with you. I mean, we stay doing things against each other, and touching on what Sister Ali was saying earlier, we have so much self-hate, you understand, and we love in our enemy. We're conditioned, and we're passing this on from generation to generation to love the enemy, you understand, and that has to cease and stop. And then maybe we will be able to see enough love within one another, you understand, to not have that type of ill feeling towards each other, go hurt each other physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you know what I mean, financially. Mm-hmm. You understand it has to be some type of, collective on all levels. And when it comes to the spirituality, we have to enforce that as something that is very sacred. You understand? Nobody, right. And that's not for all people. Nobody should be jumping up trying to do this, that, and the third if you weren't called to that and if that isn't your gift.
Right.
Now, nowadays everybody's going around as a priest and a priestess or something like that. Mm-hmm. And from what I know and from what I was told, spirit takes you.
Right.
You understand?
Exactly.
That's not for everybody.
Exactly.
So people they're in a role, some people are in a role that they're not even supposed to be in when it comes to that, because usually when we had certain things together culturally and spiritually, however many so long ago when it was still considered pure in some ways, we knew when the child was born what their, who their mate should be, if they should have more than one mate, what they should or should not eat, if they are or not this or that. You understand, certain things were lined out for a person. They knew how to follow their destiny's path. But we don't have that anymore because we don't have culture, because we're outside of our element.
Right.
You understand, we're practicing other people's spiritual beliefs.
Exactly.
So, and when we start going into our own spiritual beliefs, well, that was stuff. And everybody want to say, well, you into that stuff? So,
but some people aren't.
And make sure that you're chosen for that. If not, and somebody that is, maybe you would have to go to them for certain spiritual counseling for certain things. But, right. Go ahead. Right.
Can I ask you the next question after people speak on what that brother said?
No, well, I was just going to say that a lot of these things is because you got a lot of people who faking it out there too. They're faking it.
Right.
You know, they tied into the symbolism, but they're not connected to the substance. You got a lot of people walking around here now with the hotep and the ashe and all this kind of nonsense. Yeah, you get it, all the hoteppers. You know, they hotep you to death, okay? And then when they get round the white man, they acting like they his butler, even though they don't know him. You know, so you got a lot of people who are faking it. You know, they tied into the symbolism. You know, they got on the dashikis and the head wraps and all that kind of nonsense, and they wearing the crowns and the kufis and everything else. But then, you know, as soon as they get round the white man, they bowing. They're freaking bowing, okay?
But you can't be mad though, brother. They trying. They trying to get into their culture. You know, they.
Or if they didn't try, they at least was into fashion enough to keep up with it.
No, but that's nonsense though. You have to live it. I mean, if you're gonna be a lifeguard, if I'm on a beach and I say, okay, I'm a lifeguard, I cannot know how to swim as long as ain't nobody in that damn ocean drowning. When somebody go to drowning, I need to know how to swim for real. I can sit up on that perch and say, yeah, I'm a lifeguard. I can save anybody out here. But see, if I don't know how to swim, guess what? I'm going to get exposed. As soon as somebody say, help, help, out in that water, I'm exposed. So all those people who are faking it, okay, and claiming that they're these lifeguards of our people, you know, these saviors of our people, these instructors of our people, they're going to get exposed once someone cries for help and they can't swim out and save them. They're going to be exposed, even though they sat up there and claimed to be lifeguards all this time, because, see, no one's drowning in the pool yet, so it doesn't matter. But soon as a person, one or two or three people start drowning, they're going to be exposed. And we all know that, right? They're going to be exposed.
Sister, do you think, because I fell out with some people, some really deep people, brothers and sisters, but where I just cannot really continue on in agreement with a lot of our people is the money thing. Now, I know technically you got to go to the store and use the money to eat right now, and we got to have the money to survive right now and stuff. But to me, that is like a hook in our back, because they're printing the money. And so you got a lot of us who will sit up here and say, well, we created finance. Money was here long ago, so I ain't going to look at that as a problem within our people. But we're falling out over money. We don't have enough money. We don't have no money as a people. Could money be a goddamn problem, or do you just think, well, it's just part of it, you know?
Well, to have any type of
Because their face is on it.
stable,
They printed it.
right? Oh, so pardon. To have any type of stable, community and nation building set up, there has to be some type of currency, or some type of bartering system going on. Now, could we come together collectively and have our own thing going? Of course, we had the Black Wall Street that unfortunately got bombed. So, but I'm saying that to say we can come together and do things. But we had to build from what the currency was, in this place at that time. That's what we had to deal with. And however many years or whatever ago, maybe it was cowrie shells or maybe it was whatever. You understand that's what the currency was. So we had to deal with the money that was being printed. But my whole point is, what did we do with that? You understand? We made it something greater, and that's what we need to come to. Can we build off of their currency and then
plans for my house, and I got plans for my family. So what the hell, you know? I mean, when are we gonna let go of this demon's fucking money and print our, excuse my language, everyone, and print our own money, or at least have that in perspective? Because I'm not a god begging the white man for money and shit.
Right, and I understand that. I get that. I'm guessing that, you know, we have to be at a certain type of level to do certain type of things. If we can come up with our own currency, that's great. But right about now, we can't even come up with loving ourselves and accepting ourselves enough for who we are as an individual. So we have to deal with like minds. Like I said, drop the jewels on whatever knowledge you have. You know, about currency, maybe, you know, the creator is stirring something up in your spirit to come up with some ideas to help fix that. You know, maybe that's why it's sitting so heavy in your spirit and others too, because of course, those of us who are aware with different structures and things that it takes in order to make a community, we know we have to have some type of financial basis. And their money isn't anything. It really hasn't been anything for so many years. Like I said, being that it's no longer, the currency isn't even backed by gold anymore. You understand? The Vatican themselves is even in debt. You understand? So, I mean, as far as when we're talking about the so-called powers that be, you know what I mean? But this nation or this people, obviously certain things for them they're on a panic attack. You understand? And of course it has to do with their money and things that they build up. It's falling, you know, and they're on the attack for as many of us as it can be, you know. So we, like I said, we just got to come together with like minds. If you're saying right now is currency, how do we do this? How do we do that? Maybe you can figure out some type of bartering system, you know, amongst people who do things. Maybe this brother got a store selling produce. Maybe this sister got a store selling clothes. Maybe this one got something that they do in their house. Maybe this one do food. You understand? And get a few people together and see how y'all can work that out. Well, I need 2 shirts and a top. Well, I need, you know, a bag of onions and whatever. You know, we did that as well. So
On currency.
it just, I guess you'll be the one setting up economic.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that Rodney Archer be talking about. I mean, and yeah, Rodney Archer will be back here too, people. You know, I don't know when exactly. I spoke to him last week. I tried to get him here. I tried to get him to come here 2 weeks from now, but he's busy because he's a financier. But he will be back, and he's gonna be giving some money advice. So y'all might want to tune in for that one. And you want to tune in. Actually, Rodney Archer actually, I'm getting this from my station manager now. Rodney Archer actually has something in place as far as, you know, our own currency. He actually has that going on. So I'm gonna have Rodney Archer back. Like I said, I spoke to him last week. He's gonna be back on probably on the top of the year. He will be back here. So make sure y'all keep those questions and stuff, you know, ready, because I'm gonna have the financier Rodney Archer in studio probably sometime in January. But what I want to give y'all now is I want to give y'all a little update of what we're going to be doing over the course of the next couple of weeks. Next week, we're going to have, like I said, Brother Mandela Khan Davis on and Brother Shango Oya. And December 17th, which is my birthday for you who don't know, we're going to have a really, really big show because I'm going to have Tawana Lawless going to be back. Sarah Ratliff is going to be back. Ebony Harris is going to be back. Tina White will be back. Blanche Penn will be back. Henry J. Huey will be back, and Snood Lover is going to be calling in too. So it's going to be a pretty big show. I'm going to have a lot of in studio guests. You know, we're going to have a little on the air Nubia Hood Private of Thought series party up in here on the 17th. So get ready for that. It's going to be a big show, y'all. Yeah, but we're about to close out in a little while, so y'all know what it's time for now, right? Y'all know what it's time for, right? Do y'all know what it's time for? It is time for.
And now it is time for Xavier's Inexcusable Extras.
Yeah, it's come to that time for Xavier's Inexcusable Extras. Now, earlier tonight, we spoke to Sister Shahrazad Ali, and she told us, she said, we are going to have to get ourselves together. We're going to have to probably teach our children some things and also teach our adults. We're going to have to learn these things, people. And whether you agree or disagree, like I said earlier, it's not going to be done by one of us alone. I'll say again, I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many classes you've taken. I don't care how many guns you have, or how many times you've been to prison, or how much death or life you have seen. You are not ready to do this by yourself. Because if you think you are, just like Sister Ali said, you will be slaughtered. You will be slaughtered. Run out there thinking that you can somehow just do this thing on your own. We'll be burying you and things will stay the same. But if we do this as a group, as a collective, as one, we can win, y'all. We can win. And see, that's what I think the problem is with us. We've come to a state that we think we can win it all by ourselves, even though we've been trying that for generations and it hasn't worked. And I think that has been a fatal mistake, and it has evolved into a bad decision for us to think that we can take this on by ourselves. Yeah, we can talk. We can march. We can have rallies. We can do all these different things. But at the end of the day, if it's not all of us, it's none of us. Haven't we seen this? We've been divided for so long. And where's it gotten us? Nowhere. At some point, we have to learn that what we've done all these years and all these generations, it is not working. So why do we continue to repeat it? Why? And if anybody who's listening to this, or anybody who plans on listening to this, or anybody who can't hear this, anyone who doesn't know this, or not trying to find out about this, that, my people, is totally inexcusable. Anyway, well, we're going to wrap this thing up because we already about 15 minutes over time. You listen to the Prophet of Thought series. This is Nubia Hood Radio, the sound of consciousness. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we're going to finish this month out. We're going to be every day, every Thursday this month. We're going to be here Christmas Eve. We're going to be here New Year's Eve too. We're going to have some big shows for you. So tune in, listen in. I'll be back next week. Lady Self-Made will be back. And you know Teacher Tanisha's up here every Thursday dropping the jewels along with me. I'm X. This is the Prophet of Thought series. And we're going to leave you with 3 words.
The Prophet of
Open
Thought.
your mind.